first experiment.
Format. I would like to remind you, please, that when you come to the laboratory on Thursday, you have to be dressed disciplined, no open shoes, wearing your lab coats, and as soon as you enter to the laboratory, you should pull all your items at the back of the class. And also, please read the experiment before coming to the laboratory.
Okay, doctor.
Okay, this is the format. It's the same as the laboratory 205. Okay, so in the front page this time, and you will be graded with regards to this. The first portion should have Lebanese International University, School of Pharmacy, Pharmaceutical Sciences Department, Pharmaceutical Analysis and Biotechnology Laboratory, FAR 407, course report, 407L course report. Then you will write the title. With respect to the title, please, all the first letter of each word in the title should be capitalized, except the words of conjunctions, of, and, a, is. These words are not capitalized unless there is more than 4 letters in the word. In this case, conjunctions are capitalized. For example, versus, other words, others. Okay, so these conjunctions, they are capitalized just because they have more than 4 letters. Then you will write the section of your class, submitted by whom. You will be working in groups. So here you should put all the members of the group, submitted to Professor Rahal and to me, the date of the submission. Then you will start writing the abstract. When we start writing any type of abstract, what is meant is that you introduce your literature. Why are you doing the experiment? Why did you choose the analyte? In this case, the why is answered in the following manner. We write a brief literature, 4 to 5 sentences, of the analyte that we are using: paracetamol, white crystalline powder, amorphous powder, used as analgesic, antipyretic. 4 to 5 sentences describing the paracetamol, side effects. Okay, then you will describe the apparatus we're using. For example, if we're using a spectrophotometer, you should speak also, you should write 4 to 5 sentences about the spectrophotometer. What is this machine? How does it work? How helpful it is? Again, 4 to 5 sentences. This is why it is called brief introduction. Then you will be writing the experimental method, which is in your lab manuals and in the lectures. But as Professor Rahal is saying, you should write it in the passive form. Correct, doctor? Then, after you write the experimental method, in the passive form, you don't use the word I, you, we took, we added. No. The method you explain it in the following manner: 5 milliliters were added to the analyte, to 200 to 50 milligrams of analyte, or to 1 gram of analyte, and then diluted up to the mark with 200 up till 250 milliliters. Then the solution was heated, the solution was analyzed. So this is how you will explain the experimental method. Okay, what you worked in the laboratory, also in the past tense, so past passive form. Then after you finish describing or writing about the experimental method, you will write a brief description of the results and their discussion. In this part, we need to know the main results, okay? What were the main results that you got? I don't want every result, just the final results or result, depending on the experiment. And you will also be explaining very briefly whether the results were accurate or inaccurate and how this reflects on the experiment or what are your conclusions. Okay, again, very briefly, the brief description of the results and their discussion should be no more than 3 sentences. Then we go to the results and calculation parts. In this case, we will put all the formulas and all the calculations. Please, I want to see all the calculations. If you do not put all your calculations in this part, a lot of grades will be deducted. Also, please take into consideration that when you are writing your calculations, I want to know why are you using these calculations, okay? Whether you are trying to find the concentration or the volume, why do you need to find the concentration? Why are you taking the volume of the analyte? So I want to know your description. Why are you using this formula? Why are you using this type of calculations? Then also you will be using a graph. Okay, Dr. Rahal later will show you how to use the graph in Excel. If not, you can use graph papers, but all your reports should be submitted through Google Classroom. Also, in the graphs, I want to know the scales. So you should name the x-axis and the y-axis, put a scale on the graph. And also, I want to see the line that you draw or the curve, depending on which type of experiment we're speaking. And also, I want to know the main results plotted on the graph. I want to see them plotted on the graph. So it's not only that I drew a line and that's it. No, I want to know where does each point is ubicated or is positioned on the graph. So you should show this to me. And also, as you should know, all graphs should have a title. Please do not forget to write the title of the graph. Then you will be discussing. Okay, in the discussion, we have the conclusion in terms of final calculated values. So I want you to describe and to interpret all the results. Okay, all the results, not only the main results, all the results that you got should be described and interpreted. And after you finish this, you will speak about accuracy, and then you will speak about, or you will write about, the propagation of error. We have two types mainly, systematic and random, or determinate and indeterminate. You will write about the uncertainties of the instruments that you use in the laboratory. So when we go to the lab, you should ask for the uncertainties of the glassware and the instruments. And also, you should write about the limitation of the experiments. So again, in the laboratory, we will be discussing about the limitations of each experiment. And this is everything I want to see in your reports. Do you have any questions, or what are your questions?